Story 1. Accutane is unmatched for treating acne. I wish I had started taking it sooner to avoid the acne scars. Story 2. My dermatologist recommended that I eliminate makeup containing talc, as it can trigger acne in some individuals. After years of oral and topical treatments, my acne improved significantly after just a couple of months of using talc-free makeup. It didn't completely clear up, but it definitely made a difference. Story 3. Oddly enough, I have been washing my face less frequently. During my pregnancy, I started experiencing breakouts again, similar to what I faced in high school. After the baby arrived, I was unable to maintain my usual facial care routine as I did not prioritize it. I would wash my face in the shower whenever I found the time. It seemed that using fewer products and decreasing their frequency somehow helped my acne improve. I have very sensitive skin, and I believe constant washing was irritating it. I use only CeraVe or Cetaphil for my daily skincare, along with Clinique's moisturizer. I cannot use anything with a heavy fragrance. If I break out severely, I use an unscented bar of soap, but only because it can dry out my skin. Story 4. Baby wipes. When I was younger, I had acne problems and all the anti-acne products seemed to make it worse. I started wiping my face with baby wipes every day, and it cleared up quickly. Baby wipes remove any extra dirt or grease, but do not strip the natural oils from your skin like harsher acne creams do. Story 5. Accutane, salicylic acid face wash, stay hydrated, and exfoliate. I had terrible acne when I was a young teenager, and I believe that Accutane should only be taken in extreme cases. Try everything else first, then consult a dermatologist as a last resort. Story 6. My son is on isotretinoin, and it is amazing. Find a dermatologist who will prescribe it. I wish I had isotretinoin when I was a teenager. Story 7. I went to a dermatologist and she told me, morning, face wash with benzoyl peroxide and moisturizer with sun protection factor. Evening, gentle face cleanser and apply tretinoin, followed by moisturizer. Actually sticking to this routine and being intentional about it changed my skin. I struggled with acne my whole life, including adult acne. It almost feels silly to say now, but I spent years guessing, trying to self-diagnose, and cycling through countless products and routines. What I really needed was to see a professional who could evaluate my skin type and clarify which products actually work for me. I believe that some acne or skin types need salicylic acid, and some need benzoyl peroxide, so going to a dermatologist is my advice. They'll tell you what your skin needs and can help guide if more aggressive treatment is needed. Also, she told me that products like CeraVe and Cetaphil are great and reasonably priced options. I've been using both for years now. Once my skin cleared up, I started adding in extras like serums and face masks to make my routine feel more fun. I see these as enhancements, little additions that support my skin, but not the foundation or solution for maintaining clear skin. Story 8. Washing my face with cold water twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, and drying it off with a towel that was washed with unscented detergent. Story 9. Medication by a dermatologist. I took isotretinoin capsules for 6 months. I had to do a blood test each month, but it was worth it since my acne was finally gone when I was 19 to 20. I had acne since I was 11 to 12, so I had already tried all the creams and home remedies, avoided specific foods, and limited my makeup usage. Nothing really worked for me back then. The medication saved my confidence and sanity. Story 10. 2 face washes. One with salicylic acid and another with benzoyl peroxide. Alternate and mix them using the peroxide every 2 days. Monitor your skin's reaction, but it can cause redness and dryness if you're not accustomed to it, so start slowly. As a teenager, my mom followed advice about gentle cleansers, and none of them worked for me. All I needed was the inexpensive Neutrogena in the orange bottle. Story 11. Wash your face with Cetaphil twice a day. Once in the morning and once at night. Remember to apply serum afterward. Story 12. Noxzema Original Deep Cleansing Cream makes my pimples feel like they are being eliminated, leaving my skin feeling really fresh. I have been using it since middle school. Story 13. When I was a young man, I had a short outbreak that was quite severe. Changing my diet and using an apricot scrub cleared it up for me. My friend used isotretinoin, developed pancreatitis, and sadly passed away shortly before graduation. I am grateful I chose the diet and hygiene approach instead of medication. Story 14. I used to have acne. I got sick for 8 weeks and stopped washing my face every day because I could barely get out of bed. It turned out my skin improved a lot by doing the bare minimum. I previously had a 5 to 6 step skincare routine, and all the products were too strong for my face. So, with skincare, less is more, at least for me. Story 15. Drink plenty of water and avoid soda and junk food, particularly sugary items like candy and chocolate. Stick to one type of soap. Dove sensitive bars worked for me. Avoid touching your face and consult a dermatologist. Story 16. Had to break away from many products and start it over. Definitely, less is more. Cleanser. Benzoyl peroxide 10%. Moisturizer. CeraVe. Sunscreen. Trader Joe's sunscreen. Story 17. I avoid sugar and complex carbohydrates. The doctor said that with less sugar, my immune system is less active, so it stops overreacting to small infections. Story 18. Cetaphil and getting older. I had severe acne during my sophomore year of high school through my freshman year of college. Using Cetaphil cleared it up in just a month. Finding the right product for your skin type is extremely important and can make all the difference. My acne was not hormonal and only occurred on my forehead. Story 19. Isotretinoin. Now that I'm off it, I did have a mild breakout again, but now it's stabilized since I received exosome treatment. I'm not looking forward to redoing that. Story 20. I don't have perfect skin, but I don't break out anymore. I use a spot treatment with tea tree oil, followed by a gentle face wash. I used Burt's Bees. Then, I apply serums, only the ordinary ones that don't cause breakouts. And finally, I use a face moisturizer Olay. Story 21. Vitamin B5, pantothenic acid, taken at bedtime, gradually increased over 7 days from 600 milligrams to 2,400 milligrams per night. Helps clear the skin and shrink pores. Vitamin B5 is an effective treatment for acne. Stay hydrated by drinking clean, pure water throughout the day. Avoid alcohol. Follow a low-carbohydrate diet. Story 22. Exfoliating with a complexion improver, without moisturizing my skin afterward, allows the acne areas to dry out instead of applying moisturizer. Story 23. A routine that suits your skin type is essential for stabilizing your skin barrier. Morning. Cleanse, toner, moisturizer, sunscreen. Evening. Double cleanse, toner, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, moisturizer. I use benzoyl peroxide for spot treatment, applying it only to the spots and not all over my face. Keep the routine basic and simple. Less is more. Also, isotretinoin was a big help. Story 24. After experiencing serious hormonal acne for the first time in my life last year, a couple of things have helped it go away. One is the adapalene 0.3% and benzoyl peroxide 2.5% prescription cream. It dried out my face but was very effective. The other treatment was salicylic acid peels at 20% every few months. Consistency and not picking at my pimples also contributed to the improvement. Story 25. Benzoyl peroxide works by killing acne-causing bacteria and reducing inflammation. It is available in various strengths in cleansers, gels, and creams. Story 26. In high school, I put non-whitening toothpaste on them, and it worked. I forgot how I heard about that. Now that I'm older, it doesn't work anymore. Story 27. I had severe acne starting at ages 10 and 11. I went on birth control at 16, and my skin became clear in a month. Story 28. A few months on doxycycline to clear my face at the beginning, and then spironolactone does the rest. I have hormonal acne, and the only medication that clears my face is spironolactone. Story 29. I stopped touching and picking my skin. I wash with peppermint soap or original Dove soap, and I use an ancient healing clay mask. I make sure to get adequate sleep and stay hydrated with electrolyte packets. Whenever I pick at a pimple, I immediately dab the area with hydrogen peroxide to kill any bacteria and rinse with water. I always use clean towels. Story 30. For severe cystic acne like I had, Accutane was a game changer. The only symptom I experienced was very chapped lips, so I needed lip balm at all times. I also had monthly blood work, but there were no issues. Story 31. Just two things. 1. Salicylic acid face wash. 450 Indian rupees lasts about 3 months. 2. Nicotinamide gel. 145 Indian rupees. If it's not severe, try the nicotinamide gel, also known as clindamycin or Facelin gel. Purchase a salicylic acid face wash from a reputable brand, such as Subozil. In the morning, wash your face and apply the gel to the acne spots, then leave it alone. Avoid direct sunlight. Within a few weeks, you will notice the acne bumps flattening. Story 32. Choose leaner foods and limit butter when baking meat. Additionally, avoid using soap daily, as it can dry out the skin, leading to increased oil production and acne. Story 33. CeraVe Foaming Acne Wash with benzoyl peroxide has been my daily use for 10 years. Salicylic acid causes me to break out worse, but benzoyl peroxide works very effectively. Story 34. I used Accutane to clear up my acne. I had cystic acne, and it was embarrassing and painful. I want to warn you that I had to take that medication for 6 months, and 3 of those months were some of the worst experiences I've had. However, even now, 8 years later, I hardly get any acne at all, maybe once or twice every few months, but not cystic acne anymore. It was worth it, but getting through it was difficult. Story 35. Orange Dial Bar Soap. If I go more than 2 days without washing my face at night with it, I start to break out. For severe cystic acne, you will need isotretinoin. Story 36. I started applying progesterone cream, and my chin acne cleared up after 3 months. Then I began taking castor oil capsules, and I could already see results within 1 month. After 3 to 4 months, all of my acne had completely disappeared from both sides of my face. I could not believe this castor oil trend, but I had already tried everything in the last 10 years, so why not? It was the best decision ever. Story 37. It depends on the type of acne. If your acne is inflamed and itchy, it is likely fungal acne. If that is the case, use dandruff shampoo such as Nizoral. Additionally, refrain from touching your face and ensure you drink plenty of fluids. Story 38. Hello fellow karma farmer. Here are over 1,000 comments from many other times this question was asked. Story 39. I have fought acne for over 20 years. Everyone experiences different levels of severity and causes for acne. Below is what worked for me. Avoid dairy and heavy creams as they contain hormones that increase natural oil production in your skin, leading to deep cystic acne. Drink plenty of water. I can honestly say that when I eliminated almost everything, coffee, soda, sports drinks, alcohol, my skin was never clearer. Change your pillowcases once a week. For men, replace your razors more frequently than you might think is necessary. Razors can carry bacteria and residue from each shave. If you exercise or work out, wash your face or shower immediately afterward. Dried sweat clogs pores and can also lead to acne. No amount of changing various medications and treatments will completely solve the problem. They all use similar ingredients. Again, just my perspective from someone who has dealt with this for years. Story 40. I had COVID and experienced a fever above 100 degrees for 4 days. Now, I manage my skin with Burt's Bees Sensitive Skin Cleanser. I am 40 years old and have struggled with cystic acne since puberty. I have tried numerous treatments to get rid of it, but nothing worked. Story 41. Cutting out sugar. If I eat sugar, I get pimples. If I refrain from sugar, my skin clears up. It took me 15 years and a significant amount of money to figure this out. Story 42. Double cleansing with an oil cleanser and a gentle face wash. I used to think putting oil on acne was crazy, but it has actually dissolved all the impurities in my pores. Plus, there is no more harsh scrubbing that was making everything worse. Story 43. My dermatologist advised me to wash my face dry, lathering the cleanser in my hands before applying it to a dry face. It helped tremendously, along with gentle exfoliation and a light moisturizer. Story 44. This book, Clean: The New Science of Skin and the Beauty of Doing Less by James Hamblin, profoundly changed my perspective on skincare. I had acne since I was a teenager and honestly tried everything: topical treatments, face washes, dermatology referrals, and eventually ended up on isotretinoin. Isotretinoin was awful, but it worked for a while. Then my acne slowly started to return. After reading Clean, I came across a woman's story that resonated with mine. She had tried various remedies with little success and decided to go cold turkey, using nothing on her skin. She literally washed her face with cold water a few times a week. Initially, her acne flared up significantly, but once it all came out, it began to subside on its own. All she had to do was endure the flare-up and do nothing. I read this book during the COVID-19 pandemic and thought, why not? I had nothing to lose. My experience mirrored hers. I used nothing on my skin, stopped wearing makeup, and eliminated cleansers. My flare-up was severe and painful, but I was grateful to be at home during the lockdown. And guess what? My acne cleared. Years later, it's still absolutely fine. I honestly can't believe that doing nothing cured it for me. I would 100% recommend reading the book. I borrowed it from my local library, and it significantly impacted what I applied to my skin. While this may not work for everyone, I felt compelled to share because it's such an affordable approach. However, having a bad flare-up is unpleasant. I can't remember how long it took to clear up, maybe 2 or 3 months, but anyone with acne understands how difficult that can be. In the end, it sorted everything out for me. Best of luck. Story 45. I use a salicylic acid solution a couple of times a week, a tea tree face wash every time I shower, which is around 4 times a week, and I wash my face daily. Story 46. Just as I use soap and shampoo in the shower, I also wash my face properly with face wash. I use clean pillow sheets as often as possible, as oil can accumulate on my face. However, washing my face helps address that issue. Story 47. I floss and rinse every night before bed, instead of in the morning. I drool when I sleep. The bacteria in my drool was causing many problems, and changing my pillowcase daily wasn't enough. I even had a trail of irritated skin along each corner of my mouth, which is how I made the connection. After about a week of nightly flossing and rinsing, it cleared up. I haven't had a problem since. Story 48. I'm still a teenager, but I had severe acne for 2 years. Finally, I decided to seek professional medical treatment, something much weaker than Accutane, and it has helped significantly. All I can say is it doesn't hurt to just go in and see what a doctor says. Story 49. Birth control and tretinoin have greatly improved my skin. Tretinoin cleared my face effectively, but I still experienced breakouts during my period and had persistent back acne. Birth control addressed these issues, and my skin has never been clearer. Story 50. Age helps to naturally clear up acne. It may sound counterproductive, but it is important to moisturize and use oils. Stripping your skin of oils can cause it to overproduce. So gentle, light oils like Declear can be very beneficial for soothing irritated skin. Story 51. Accutane. Every other treatment, oral antibiotics, and so on were a waste of time. Hydration also helped, both internally and externally. Story 52. Better hygiene in general, hand washing, and not touching my face are important practices. If I get acne, I use an acne patch to keep the area clean. I only pop a pimple if it seems ready to pop on its own. I clean the area with saline solution before and after popping, sanitize the tools, and then apply the acne patch. This approach helps the acne heal much faster. Aloe gel is a great moisturizer. It is inexpensive and multipurpose. Story 53. Sunlight. Lots of it. I do not recommend it, but the ultraviolet radiation helped clear my teenage acne. Of course, the risk of melanoma increased, but as a teenager, I did not care. Story 54. After dermatologists tried everything possible and blamed my hormones, I did my own research and discovered it wasn't hormones but fungal acne. I use a turmeric kojic acid soap and head and shoulders shampoo, which are inexpensive and work quickly. Not once did the doctor mention or suggest it could have been fungal, which frustrated me after all the years, time, and money I spent trying to clear it up. Story 55. It might sound unusual, but I took brewer's yeast, 6 grams daily for about a year, along with proper skincare. Story 56. I have had severe acne for as long as I can remember, and sometimes it would become cystic. I tried different skincare routines, but I found that keeping it as simple as possible helped the most. I stopped using cleansers and just washed my face with shower water, then applied a moisturizer. I am currently using Cetrabin, but I previously used Epiderm. Anything else causes breakouts. Some days I forget to moisturize my face. My skin definitely started to clear up after I eliminated all the additional skincare products. I recently started using the Cetrabin cleanser and have not had any problems with it so far. Story 57. Take 4 milligrams of prednisone right before breakfast and again, right before dinner for 2 weeks. Do not take the steroids for longer than that. Continue with salads for lunch indefinitely. Story 58. Using adapalene 2 or 3 times a week at first, then every other day along with moisturizing, made a significant difference for me within a couple of months. Story 59. I stopped drinking milk and reduced my overall dairy intake. It's definitely a case-by-case situation for me, as I can have some dairy, but consuming too much too frequently leads to breakouts. Story 60. I used benzoyl peroxide and face wash if the acne is mild. When it is serious, I used isotretinoin, but it caused chapped lips. Story 61. Balanced meals, avoiding street and junk food, and drinking water are essential. I have practiced skincare for 3 years and tried all types of active ingredients. My partner is a nutritionist, and I decided to finally listen to him. You won't believe the changes in my skin. There isn't a single acne lesion. Story 62. 3 tablespoons of white vinegar in a 300 milliliter bottle of water with 1 drop of eucalyptus oil. Splash a few drops on my face after showering. I got the recipe from a girl's magazine in the 1990s and tried it for my cystic acne, and it actually worked. I'm in my late 30s now and still do it every day. Story 63. Regular exercise has helped clear my skin. I started running 3 times a week and noticed a significant decrease in my hormonal breakouts. I believe this is due to stress relief and improved blood circulation. Story 64. In my teens, my acne was severe. I visited a dermatologist for about 6 months and used their medications, creams, and roll-ons. While these treatments dried my skin and caused peeling, they did not resolve the problem. The dermatologist eventually suggested I wash my face with a scented soap like Irish Spring. This approach worked effectively for me. Today, I advise my teens to do the same, but my wife becomes upset and insists it is harmful to their skin. Despite knowing my experience, she prefers to buy expensive facial soaps. Story 65. Eating better by avoiding fast food for the last 7 years. Drinking plenty of water every day. Quitting smoking cigarettes. Washing my pillowcases regularly. And using an electric trimmer to shave my face has made a significant difference. I can't really grow a full beard or much facial hair, so I remain clean-shaven, but the ingrown hairs were a major contributor to my acne. Additionally, I am prone to cystic acne, which certainly did not help. Story 66. The cause of my acne and pimples is hormonal imbalance. My OB prescribed me pills. For hygiene, I use a good cleanser, toner, and moisturizer. Story 67. Drinking more water. Exfoliating daily with a towel. Sweating more through exercise. Excessive sugar intake seems to contribute to it. The acne is gone, but the marks it left behind remain. That's the frustrating part of it all. Story 68. It hasn't made a world of difference, but washing your face for more than 10 seconds matters. As a man, I feel like many of us think that once the suds appear, we're done. However, washing for about 60 seconds has made a significant difference in how my skin feels afterward. Story 69. Use a retinol-based lotion, a salicylic acid cleanser, and an alcohol-based toner. Apply all of these products twice daily, in the morning and at night. If you wear makeup, always remove it before going to bed. It is essential to wash at night to eliminate pollution and dirt accumulated during the day. Washing in the morning removes oils that build up overnight. Establish the habit of cleansing twice a day. Without it, using these products may not be effective. The process is to wash with the salicylic acid cleanser, follow up with the toner, and then moisturize with the retinol-based moisturizer. Story 70. After trying almost everything, I used a home remedy that cleared my acne within 2 months. I have not had a breakout since. Strawberries and apple cider vinegar. Story 71. Diet. Eating clean and reducing alcohol consumption cleared my skin. I used to eat too many fried or greasy foods and washed it down with beer. I focused on drinking water and consuming plenty of vitamin C. Story 72. I realized that it was a combination of fungal acne and hormonal acne. I adjusted my skincare routine to align with fungal acne-safe standards and started taking spironolactone to address my testosterone levels and facial hair concerns. Story 73. While in the shower, use a washcloth to scrub your face. Do not touch your face with your hands. Story 74. I cannot say that I used the scientific method to determine this when I was a teenager, but it seemed to correlate with a reduction in processed sugar intake. My acne cleared up around the time I stopped drinking soda so often and eating as many sweets. Story 75. I am a 23-year-old male. I have had acne and back acne problems since I was about 16. I tried everything to get rid of them, including visiting doctors and a dermatologist, but nothing was working. One of my friends, who had the same problem, suggested I try tanning beds because it worked for him. I have been using them for 2 years now, and I have not had acne since. I occasionally take breaks when it has not been a problem for a while but return after about 6 months when it starts showing up again. Story 76. I am keeping sugar out of my diet and using retinol. In my late 20s, I still struggle with it, unfortunately. Story 77. Shaving my head. I had acne from the age of 15, and at 25 it was still persistent. I was very self-conscious about it. By 23, I began to notice visible balding due to genetics, which added to my insecurities. At 25, I decided to shave my head completely. Within a month, the acne had completely cleared up. I have no concrete evidence that shaving was the cause, but since hair can harbor bacteria, I suspect it had an effect. Story 78. Diaper rash cream and washing the face once a day instead of twice have been beneficial. I added bio oil to my routine, which has also helped. I used tretinoin and face masks as needed. Story 79. Cutting out dairy was the solution I never wanted to accept. I love cheese too much, but after 1 month dairy-free, my chin acne disappeared completely. Story 80. Rejuvenation set. Unlike any other rejuvenation sets that are irritating, I haven't felt any discomfort with this one. It is mild and effective. Story 81. My son hasn't had any reactions to it. They make him say a pledge that he won't get anyone pregnant. It has really cleared up his skin, so for him it was worth it. Nothing else worked. Story 82. Tersaseptic was a soap available until a few years ago and has now been banned in Canada and possibly in the United States as well. One of its ingredients, triclosan, was prohibited. I used it in the 1990s. I had severe acne as a teenager and tried everything. Nothing worked to even a small degree. Tersaseptic cleared up my acne in about 3 months. I used it as a face and scalp wash in the shower and then again to wash my face before bed. The results were significant. Story 83. Humane benzoyl peroxide should be applied once in the morning and again in the evening. Leave it on for at least 30 seconds, but no more than 2 minutes. Story 84. I went to a dermatologist, which took a long time to get an appointment, and I started multiple topical medications and an oral pill. The pill gave me some unusual side effects, including joint pain, but I stopped it without any issues. My skin cleared up in about 3 months. The medications do make your skin very dry, so they provide lotion to help with that. Story 85. Keeping my face oil-free is important, especially as I age. I have recently noticed that anxiety causes pimples, which may have also been the case in the past. Story 86. Every time I shower, I put the hottest water I can handle on a washcloth and press it against my face for a long time. That opens up the pores. Story 87. You are what you eat. Experimenting with different foods, particularly healthy options, can be very beneficial. Additionally, consider experimenting with soap, shampoo, and shower gels, which may involve showering less or using less or more soap. Change only one factor at a time and maintain it for a while to observe any changes. Story 88. Wash your face twice daily using a non-foaming cleanser like CeraVe or Cetaphil. Follow up each time with a non-comedogenic moisturizer, with CeraVe or Cetaphil being solid options. Avoid touching your face. Stay away from products marketed for oily skin or anti-acne, especially those designed to strip oil, as these will worsen the situation. Ensure that shampoo does not run onto your face when washing your hair. Story 89. What helped me the most with acne was sticking to a simple routine. I stopped using many different products and focused on cleansing my face twice a day with a gentle cleanser, using a moisturizer with niacinamide, and always wearing sunscreen. I also started changing my pillowcase more often and tried not to touch my face as much. Drinking a lot of water may sound cliché, but it actually helped more than I expected. Everyone's skin is different, but that's what worked for me. Story 90. Avoid foods that cause flare-ups. Avoid smoking, stay hydrated, and ensure proper sleep. In my case, it was rosacea. Story 91. Just don't touch your acne. Wash your face with micellar water before going to sleep and gently cleanse your face with aloe vera soap each morning. Apply C cream or another moisturizer if you prefer, and you'll see improvements. Story 92. I overhauled my diet, stopped using hormonal birth control, and changed my bed sheets and towels every few days. Story 93. The sun really helped me. As a teenager, I had terrible acne and tried all sorts of creams, lotions, and antibiotics, but nothing worked except for the sun. Story 94. Like others have mentioned, only Accutane worked for me as well. In my teens and early 20s, I never had acne. I just had 1 or 2 pimples here and there, and my skin was always somewhat dry. However, when I was 25, I suddenly developed severe cystic acne. In a few months, my skin changed from rather dry to extremely oily, and some of the cysts were as large as walnuts and incredibly painful. My dermatologist told me that genetic factors likely played a significant role because I had lived mostly acne-friendly years prior to the breakout, following a vegan diet with no dairy or red meat, avoiding alcohol, smoking, and drugs, being mindful of my sugar intake, changing towels and sheets often, and drinking plenty of water. I tried regular creams, antibiotic creams, and everything else the dermatologist suggested, but nothing helped except for taking Accutane. I am now a month and a half off Accutane and feel anxious that the cysts might return because my skin is getting oily again. But so far, I haven't had any new cysts. I took Accutane for 13 months and loved experiencing manageable skin again. I really miss it. Story 95. I was fortunate and did not experience acne as a preteen or teenager. Unfortunately, I do get cystic acne during my menstrual cycle, and the only way I can address it is by trying to pop the blemishes and then applying a pimple patch. Story 96. Salicylic face washes and multiple wash towels or pillowcases for your pillows are essential. The oils and bacteria can thrive in your pillowcase, and if you don't keep them clean at all times, you risk reintroducing unwanted substances back onto your face while you sleep. Personally, I found that drinking plenty of water and getting sunlight really helped. My best recommendation that never fails is to buy 7 to a dozen small hand towels and place them on top of your pillow to sleep on. In the morning, when you wake up, toss that towel in the wash and set out a new towel for your next sleep. Story 97. For my diet, I've never had really bad acne, but I had some pimples and rosacea which really annoyed me. I felt insecure about that, and skincare products like cleanser and moisturizer made it even worse, until I started eating healthier and eliminating fast foods and oily foods. That helped me the most. Story 98. One dermatologist appointment cured my biggest issues. Look up Cabtrio. It is quite effective. Story 99. using fewer products. All I'm doing now is cleansing and moisturizing. My skin has never been clearer. Story 100. Luckily, I have good genes and have never had a problem. I heard that using a light salicylic acid facial soap can be really helpful. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.